Hello, and I'm recording this video in honor of Imbolc or Candlemass to save myself the frustration of trying to pronounce Imbolc correct. I'm just going to call it Candlemass in this video, but I think we all know what I mean. It is the halfway point for pagans and Wiccans between winter and spring. It's when we really start turning our thoughts towards spring and focusing on what seeds or goals do we want to focus on for the coming warm months. If you are in agriculture, farmers, baby lambs often are born getting right around this time. You start to see the first green sprouts of vegetation popping up. So the earth is awakening. Um, in ancient times, um, this time of year marked celebrations for many, many goddesses. Most famously, and the one that I think a lot of pagans focus on today, is Bridget. I myself have a pretty deep connection with Bridget. Um, I started working with her, oh, 7 or 8 years ago. Very, very dark point in my life. Not sure which direction my life was taking. I needed something, and I stumbled across a lot of written spells and books that, talked about petitioning Bridget to help guide you on your path. Find what path is right for you and set out on it fearlessly. So I, you know, took that as inspiration, crafted my own spells, and thus it began a personal relationship I have with that goddess. Um, through the darkest times, through the happiest times, she is with me. She is my guiding light, and I work with her often. If you're a writer or an artist, or you do any kind of metal craftsmanship, you are also probably familiar with her, as she is attributed with giving inspiration to those in those fields. I myself am a writer, and many a times I've said a prayer to her, lit a candle for her, seeking a muse inspiration, and lo and behold, I was able to find something. So, what should you do to mark the celebration, to mark this time of the year? Most Catholic churches nowadays don't celebrate Candlemas, but some do still hold the tradition. Candlemas is, of course, the Christian name for Imbolc, and it was adopted after Bridget was made a saint by the Catholic Church. It's her feast day. You know, um, Fire is still probably the number one way, whether you're going with the Christianized Candlemas or you're doing a pagan celebration. Fire is a sacred element to Bridget, and candles are always a good idea. Simply lighting a candle and meditating or saying a few prayers, always an excellent way to mark the holiday. Um, you can also make decorations for your altar. I will show you mine that I have made, um, and tell you how I did it. Not saying this is how you should do it. You should do whatever works for you, but this is just myself personally what I did. This is a wand I've crafted. Um, it lies in my breed bed with my dolly that I've made. I have an acorn that I've collected that I've just simply tied on with some brown string. And believe it or not, this is just a stick that I found that I smoothed out, and then I wrapped red ribbon around it and glued it down. Just kind of smeared the glue on and wrapped and wrapped and wrapped. Re-glued in places where I needed um, to come up with this. Very simple, very easy. If you have corn husk, you can always make a corn husk dolly. But if, like myself, you forget to save those corn husks when you're shucking corn in the summer, you can always make your own dolly out of fabric. And this is extremely easy. I've got a few bits of fabric to show you here. I'm not going to make a full doll, but I'll just show you. It's easy. If you can get what are called these quick cuts, And these are simply just pre-measured, pre-folded sheets of fabric that you can get like at Walmart for $1. Even in independently owned fabric stores, which I happen to have one near me, they sell these a little bit more expensive, like $2 something. But if you're like me and you like to try to support local businesses as much as possible, go this route. If you unfortunately have, to be economical, Walmart, $1. So what you do, you take it, and I'm just going to fold this in half for the sake of demonstration. And you're just going to make like an accordion fold. So like if you were folding a paper fan, just fold one side, flip it, fold the other side, flip it, fold, fold. And now you've got your accordion fold. Then you're just going to fold that in half. So now you have what would be like the inside of your dolly. And you'd set that aside. Pick up a second swatch of fabric. It can be the same color if you want. I like the contrasting colors. It can be any scrap of fabric you have too. Like I use this for something and I've kept it, and now it's just a scrap fabric. So I'm just going to do the same thing. Fold that, and then accordion fold. And this will only take you a couple minutes. I've never made the corn dolly husk because simply I always forget. I never remember to save them. I'm going to try this year. Fingers crossed I remember every year. I tell myself I will remember. I never do. So now you have your 2 accordion folds, and this one I folded a different length, so I didn't bother to fold it in half. So what I'm going to do is just take this, put that inside of there, fold, and then you'll need any type of string, ribbon, hemp. My original dolly that I've made, I added arms using felt pipe. I do not have felt pipe at this time, but what you would do, and I can kind of show you, is you would just take the felt pipe and bend it together and then stick it in that middle part there, and then just tie everything together. Rubber band is helpful to have here because it'll kind of hold everything for you while you situate the ribbon. I do happen to have a rubber band. So do go round it, secure it. Take your ribbon, which again, this is a bit of scrap I have, and you're going to kind of just tie it around like you would a scarf. And that is your very basic dolly. Now, as you can see with this one, again, it's a bit more elaborate. I took the felt pipe cleaners, which again, you can pick up for about 50 cents to $1 at any craft store or Walmart. And I folded those in to do that. And then I had braided some hemp that I had to make a ribbon. Her rubber bands broke, so I can actually show you a little bit more. Just take apart the dolly that I made to show you guys. So that's where the rubber band broke. We're just going to throw it out of the way. These are the arms that I made. I chose traditional colors, which green, brown, white are traditional colors for this holiday. I have brown and white here because I didn't have any green. And again, I just kind of made a skeleton. I bent the brown, twisted it together, and then twisted in the white. So I have arms, and essentially I have feet for her too. You can kind of see. And I'm putting this back together as I'm speaking in case you can't tell. With her, I chose to do more of a cloak style for the outside thing. I did the same accordion fold on the inside material. And then on this, I did it much more loose. So here's the scrap I had. I accordion folded it down just a little bit to make a hood, and then the rest hangs cloak-like. So again, this is so simple to put back together. Just grab everything and fold together. And grab my rubber band I'm using now, go around, and I can adjust the hood and the fabric to look more base-like. Then just adjust the hands and the feet and the cloak. And there she is, my bride doll, my breed doll. I've heard it pronounced both ways, so don't shoot me. And I'm just going to wrap my little hemp right back around there in a knot. And voila, my breed doll. So there's an idea for you. It's really simple, not that expensive. You'll need a place to put your doll, obviously, though. And traditionally, you have the bed, a breed bed. How did I make this? Popsicle sticks. There. And you can kind of see it there. And again, some more scrap fabric I had that I just glued down. And this is a bit of fluff I had from a stuffed animal that got torn up by a cat. So what I did was I took, again, more scrap fabric that I had, and I stuffed it with some seeds, sage and rosemary and basil, some dried herbs I had, and I just wrapped it up in a pillow, sewed it, and then I glued everything down. Now, this is just some plywood or craft wood that you would get like for a school project, and the popsicle sticks I just glued on there to make the sides of the bed, and then I glued the fabric down. So that's my bed. And simply for a blanket to cover them up with, I again have more scrap fabric that I just hemmed. I am working on a new piece. Oh goodness, okay. New piece I'm working on. I'm trying to crochet a blanket. So I've been making some flowers, and I've sewn this much together, and I'll hopefully finish that by Monday. And what you do with your items is simply you lay your breed doll in the bed next to your wand or whatever. You could just put the acorn itself in there, whatever you want to use as a symbol. You know, the god is, that's up to you. You would just set that in there, and then I just cover them up. And it sits on my altar. See? The acorn's obviously trying to escape, but you get the idea. Yes? Yes. So, that is a very, probably traditional way. I think a lot of pagans do that. That's just my method. But, you know, do it however you want. Some people, they can't have stuff like that out, so they may just have like a little woven basket that like you find at a dollar store or a thrift sale or a rummage sale, and you may just put in, you know, some nuts and berries, and there you go. You have, now I have to let my cat in. Excuse me. Get in, Kiki. Had to let the cat in. Okay. So you just get that and place it in the basket, and it's the same, you know, idea. You know, the god and goddess inside of the earth together, awakening. That's the whole idea. If you're really looking for more ideas and you are looking for books, you cannot go wrong with Candlemass. Feast of Flames by Amber K. and Azaria Iron K. This is an awesome book that I quite honestly adore, and it talks about some of the other goddesses that have festivals around this time, like Vesta, Juno. There's a few others. It mainly is about Bridget, though, and her worship, and then the Saint Bridget. So, well worth picking up. It also mentions one thing I did not mention here today, and that's because I just quite honestly can't find mine. The Bridget's Cross or Breed's Cross, which is really easy to make. Again, if you have pipe cleaner, you can make this. It's super simple, but it tells you how to do that here, and if you like me on Facebook, I might post a picture of mine if I can find it in time, or at least the instructions on how to make one. Other book I would recommend is Goddess Alive by Michelle Skye. I would actually recommend this as a very good book for all the Sabbats, but in particular it does have a very good one for Candlemass Imbolc. Again, it's dedicated to Bridget, but you get the idea of what the whole season is about. And if you're looking into other goddesses, unfortunately for you, you are probably going to be limited to finding most of the celebrations that are written about correlate back to Bridget. You're not going to find a lot written about Vesta. So if you're wanting to do rituals more geared towards other pantheons, more gods or goddesses, you're going to have to do some little research on your own. Sorry. that's the way the cookie crumbles. So that's pretty much all I have for you today. I do want to mention that I am getting back into making videos. As you can see, I'm reaching for something to show you. Fairly soon, I will be doing a complete review of the Inner Temple of Witchcraft by Christopher Pensick, which is an excellent book, but I felt in order to do it justice with the video, I needed to reread it. And I'll also be doing the Outer Temple of Witchcraft by Christopher Pensick as well. So those will be coming up in the future. Thank you everyone that's watching. I hope this has given you some inspiration as to maybe what you want to do next coming days. Today is January 31st, and February 1st and February 2nd are generally the days for the celebration. So blessings, good luck, have fun, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.